Welcome to another Ortelia Curator video. In this tutorial what we're going to do is look at creating plinths, wall partitions and shelves. So let's start out by creating our first plinth. Now of course you have to be in the plinth tab to do any of this sort of work. So we'll simply create a plinth, and the default plinth is 300 by 300 by 800 millimeters. So we'll just go ahead and place that somewhere in the space. Now note again, as we move around, the actual dimensions or distances from nearest walls show up. So we'll put it there, and of course we can nudge it in any direction we want to go. Now in addition to that, we can change the size. So I actually want this plinth to stay the same height but to be a lot wider and longer. So I'll set that at 600 by 600 millimeters. So there is my plinth. Of course I can orient my plinth as I see fit. Okay, so moving along from there now, the next thing we're going to do is to create a wall partition. Now in Ortelia Curator you can select the previous object that you created and essentially replicate it by clicking the create button. So we now have another plinth which is 600 by 600 by 800, and we'll place that a little bit further back. The next thing we're going to do is to change the dimensions so it becomes a wall partition. So let's make its height approximately 2.5 meters, or exactly 2.5 meters. So you see it's almost at the ceiling but not quite. We can of course bring that down to any height we want. Now we want to change the actual thickness of the wall, so in this case we'll make it 100, so there it is. We'll rotate the wall around this way, and we'll make its width now 2200 millimeters. So there we have our wall partition. Now wall partitions will take artwork, so you can hang artwork on them, and of course you can do the same with plinths. You can give it a color of some sort. So for example we can say there is our wall partition and the color we wanted. Okay, we're now going to create a shelf. So we'll start with a clean panel just so that we all can see what we're working with. And what I want to do is create a plinth, and this plinth is going to be 60 centimeters long, so 600 mil. It's going to be 30 mil thick, and it's going to stand out from the wall 300 millimeters. So there it is. Now let's go ahead and place that on the wall. Now you note, of course, you could place this plinth anywhere, but let's say we're placing our plinth there, and there it is. So this plinth can now accept sculptures or anything else you want to put on it, and of course the same principles apply. You can nudge it around, you can put it into any place you want, and of course if you want you can color it. Now we can take this plinth and we can effectively replicate it a number of times, and maybe we want to start placing them in some sort of pattern descending along the wall, and so of course you can do that very simply. Now you can also put plinths on top of plinths, so your possibilities are pretty much endless. And that concludes the creating plinths, shelves and wall partitions.